And welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore for 2013, our Season 8 of the Intel Extreme Masters. We are here for the final game of the day. It is the last Group B match of today and the last game to decide our fourth member of the quarterfinals, which will be played on Sunday. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Group C and D. Number of big stars involved in the two groups tomorrow. Amongst them, Scarlet, of course, Bomber, again in the same group as Scarlet, and also Grubby, second place last year here in Singapore, returning to see whether he can go one better in 2013. All of those players in action tomorrow. For now, though, we have our last match of the day. Who's going through to the quarterfinals? Is it the one and only European that's left in the two groups that we've played today, Mr. Happy, or is it a fourth Korean out of four? We're about to find out. So please welcome the players to the stage. First of all, the former OSL winner, EffOrt. Has had a terrific couple of days already, having played in the open bracket yesterday, found himself in a very similar position where he needed to win his final game to make it through to the group stage. He's done that. He goes head-to-head with a man who has been very, very efficient throughout the WCS in 2013. He's, of course, the Russian player, Empire Happy. And jokes about sleeping bags aside, let's hope that this one is just as good as the previous game we've witnessed. Best of luck to both players. We're now going to go over to our commentary team for our final game of the day. It's Maynard and Idra.
G'day guys, welcome back. This is the final best of 3 for today to decide the fourth player, as Red Eye mentioned, going through to the champs tomorrow. Idra, how are you feeling after seeing that? I know you watched it backstage.
It was fun. It was long. It was, I don't know, I thought Happy might take that second game for a little bit, and I was like a little bit disgusted, a little bit amazed, a little bit impressed.
I actually did say in the cast, I was like, I'm amazed. I was just sat there gobsmacked that a mech army was actually doing what it was doing. Right
Yeah,
now.
if he had been just a little bit more efficient on some of those fights, he was one wave away, I think, from breaking the back of King Kong with that push. I don't know. I'm going to be curious if he's going to go with mech again, because we've seen it. EffOrt has seen him play both against DRG and with King Kong, and maybe he knows, maybe he feels comfortable dealing with it after getting that much experience with it. But then, on the other hand, Happy looks very, very comfortable with his mech play. He seems like he would be willing to go with it, even if his opponent knows what's coming.
Yeah, man, I agree with you. We've got the vetoes going down here, so would not be surprised to see EffOrt get rid of Yonsu. Would actually not be surprised if Happy's trying to get himself Akalon again. Well, you know, he's pulled the mech out on every map, whether it's 4-player, 1-player, otherwise. So we'll have to see. I mean, who's going to be the fourth player? We got Dongregu through, Sans through, MVP is through. I feel like if I was a betting man, and I kind of am slightly, I would like EffOrt to go through. I think that would be a safe bet at this point, just based on the fact that he's an OSL winner. He's got the Brood War history behind him. He's played amazing games today, and Happy's played a very, very powerful style that's worked already against Zergs today. But Dongregu found a way to do it, and I feel like even though Dongregu took out EffOrt in a ZVZ, I feel like EffOrt is still a stronger Zerg player. He's
definitely up there. He's definitely more in line with DRG than with King Kong. And we saw King Kong still put up a pretty good fight. Even the game on Akalon, where it looked like Happy had an unlosable situation, King Kong really kind of made the best of it and ran him around. And his mech play definitely just isn't as clean as MVP, and it's not as aggressive as MVP.
Yeah.
And if you give a player like EffOrt control of the game, he's going to be able to do things with it.
Absolutely. So there's the handshake. The players going to the booths, and will be joining the game very, very shortly. So have you been enjoying your time in Singapore so far, sir?
I definitely have. I got in really late last night, really early this morning, technically. And then we've just been casting all day. So I haven't really experienced Singapore too much, but it's been great games so far. So the casting part of it's been a lot of fun.
Oddly enough, I haven't either, apart from the odd little restaurant here and there. I had a bowl of fish soup last night. That was pretty interesting. I'm glad it stayed down. Very happy about that.
That's all you can really ask?
Yeah, I mean,
I had fish balls for breakfast. Those were pretty okay.
As in bowls with fish inside them?
Like,
just to clarify?
It was like just a little piece of fish with a little ball of breading around it. It was a very literal thing. Like, usually that's like a paste of fish that they fry up or something. This was actually just a little chunk of fish. There you go. It was okay, I suppose.
Yeah, well,
so that's been my experience with Singapore thus far, that and StarCraft games.
Well, you know what? That's pretty good. My experience is a lot of StarCraft games usually lead to a good day. Well, I mean, if you're casting them, I enjoy to cast and spectate. Obviously, playing can sometimes be a little bit
can be
bad.
stressful.
It can be stressful, I'm sure.
But we don't have to deal with that. Those guys do.
Yeah, this is one of the guys on screen right now, Happy. Almost cracking a smile there.
That's like the happiest I've
of
ever seen him look.
Yeah, that was a legitimate danger of a grin there. But you know, getting back into that sort of placid, concentrated sort of look that EffOrt is actually sporting as well. Very, very focused on this game, and he is, I'm no doubt that he was watching that game against King Kong, and I think, just judging by his swagger, his movement, he's actually feeling like he's in a pretty good spot just starting in this best of 3. He feels like he's got what it takes.
He's actually on a team with just Sky High that comes to mind, but Sky High and StarCraft 2 players might not be too familiar with him, but he is just a very strong Terran player who is on the CJ team. And he actually likes mech quite a bit. Not so much in StarCraft 1, but in StarCraft 2 he does. So there's a pretty good chance EffOrt's experienced against mech, and Sky High certainly is going to be able to execute it better than Happy. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's pretty okay with playing against mech.
Absolutely. So let's introduce these players for the time being. In the top here on the left, we saw him win that best 3 against King Kong. Can he do it against EffOrt? This is Empire's Happy. And in the bottom right from CJ Entis, the former OSL winner, EffOrt.
And Belshire was the map last series that Happy did not go mech on. He chose to go bio on here. Not the best mech map. Kind of hard to secure those 4th and 5th bases, which are pretty important. 3-base mech, not nearly as powerful as if you can secure a little bit more and get more towards a half map scenario. Also, lots of room for counterattacks. Room for armies to swing around and go for flanks and whatnot. All weaknesses of mech play. But really, his bio play didn't look bad by any means, but I think if he does that against a player of EffOrt's caliber, I don't think it's going to go so well for him. So I kind of think that if he wants to win, he really needs to try and go mech anyway, and just hope that that works out. I really don't see his bio play beating EffOrt. I think EffOrt is just too good for that.
Yeah, I was about to bring up a certain point as well, where, you know, as you mentioned, he did go bio on this map, and we've seen EffOrt beat the biomine, you know, the unit composition relatively easily. So, yeah, and those have been arguably...
cool first.
Oh my god, yeah.
What on earth?
Okay, so he's a little bit afraid of very early aggression from Happy here. He's not drone scouting, just going for a blind pull first.
And Happy is going to go CC first. I'm not really sure how this interacts, honestly, because 15 pool just kind of, no one does it at all, ZVT. So I'm not sure. I don't think Lings get there in time to punish it, but maybe they do. He's saving up Larva. He's not saving Larva, so he's not going to make any Lings. This isn't an attempt to punish it. Very fast speed, though, so it looks like maybe a Ling Baneling rush. I could see that happening. A pretty quick speed, or pretty quick gas coming out here. A Ling Baneling all-in makes the most sense at this point, and that is the way to punish Happy, because Happy plays very, very safely. We were discussing this before the game. Happy plays very, very safely against any kind of Roach Bane. If he sniffs it out, he makes mines and tanks, and doesn't really matter what else he was trying to go for. But Ling Baneling, if Happy doesn't scout early on, I could definitely see that working, but there comes the SCV, so
yeah, and there's not going to be enough Lings to completely deny it, so it's going to slip past into the main for sure.
He's going to see both the pool timing and the quick gas, and that kind of has to tell you. And this is a really, really cheesy opening, ZVT. Like, if this doesn't do serious damage, you're pretty in trouble.
Actually, the SCV's pulled. Okay, there it goes. I was like, what are you doing, SCV? Go and scout the main, for God's sake. And up he goes into the top there. Oh, a bit of a supply block there from Happy. A little bit of a misstep from him. Getting into the main here. A
CC on the low ground, and that's actually... it does finish, so it won't be canceled, but there's not going to be anything to really ward off those Zerglings for a little bit, as he was supply blocked. He didn't get that Marine out immediately, but obviously the Ling's not going to be able to do anything. The SCV has died. Can only assume that it saw pretty much everything. EffOrt has taken off 2 drones from the gas. Not sure if the SCV saw that or not, because that means that it won't be a Baneling bust. He's just going to get Speedling. Don't know if this is to scare Happy, get some map control, or what.
Roach Warren going down now for EffOrt here, so... I mean, this could be a Roach rush. It could just be defense because he knows that Happy likes the Hellion aggression, but that pull first doesn't make sense in this game. At
this point, it's definitely going to be a Roach all-in. He's saving up a lot of gas. He's going to make a ton of Roaches, and it's just so fast. This has to be an all-in. Well, not necessarily an all-in. It can get to the point where you just kill off enough SCVs repairing a bunker or something like that, and then transition into macro. But the Roaches absolutely have to do a lot of damage. And is that...
Yeah, 2 more barracks.
2 more barracks.
Yeah.
So he was actually going to go for like pretty heavy 1-base play or 2-base play. And I'm not sure if that's really going to kick in time to hold off these roaches or not.
Well, there's no bunker in place, as one would expect with these expansions. 5 roaches on the way, and you wouldn't think with 5 roaches, you know, the average viewer wouldn't think with 5 roaches you get that much done, but of course you can when the Terran only has Marines without any bunkers or Widow Mines or siege tanks or anything like that. And EffOrt has got a pretty good idea here. In fact, Happy just scanning the main there, seeing the Roach Warren, and he probably will see the roaches pop out as well.
And he has a tech lab coming out of his barracks so he can get Marauders right away. Immediately drops a bunker up on the high ground. He's not even going to bother trying to defend that natural. And I like this for Happy.
Yeah,
he's going to hold off the initial. He's going to hold off the initial wave. Not mining from his natural, but who really cares? He's not going to anyway. He's just going to hold that off, and then he's going to get this big swell of units, including quite a few Marauders from those 3 barracks. And there's no way EffOrt takes a 3rd base. He's going to be hard pressed even to hold his natural against that, much less get any kind of tech, any kind of upgrades, any kind of economy going. So this could actually turn out pretty well for Happy here.
And there's the roaches from EffOrt marching on and lifted up from Happy. He's not even going to take any roach acid to the face right now. Just going to take it easy. The Overlord of EffOrt actually nearly got taken out by the bunker there, but it did make it. And yeah, so EffOrt's realized that his roaches have been spotted, and this will be deflected, especially seeing that Marauder on the high ground. He's got to know. Can't charge up here. I don't know why
he's actually kind of poking at it anyway. He might take down that reactor, but is that worth losing 2 or 3 more? He only lost 1 roach and a couple of lings there, so I guess so.
Okay.
And the Overlord does actually scout both the barracks, including the add-on, so EffOrt knows what's going on. He knows what he's going to have to deal with. The question is, can he do that efficiently anyway? And Hellion's actually running by.
And he just made 6 drones, Idra, so...
I feel that that's pretty okay because he's not going to have the medevacs out for quite some time. The Starport's just finishing now, and he's not really going to want to move out without the medevacs because otherwise it's really really dangerous. If you get surrounded by speedlings with some roaches there, you can just lose everything. It's a really fragile army without the medevacs. And killing that reactor actually is going to delay the push by quite a bit because no medevacs.
But these Hellions, though, only 1 queen to defend at the moment. The drone's getting pulled here. EffOrt doing a reasonable job to try and catch them at the back. Losing a few drones in the meantime. Pulling them off and taking up against the wall. But they are lining up very nicely for Happy. Happy getting amazing shots here from these Hellions. 11 drones killed by Happy. Great counterattack from the Russian Terran.
And in this kind of situation, that's just so huge because you keep your opponent off balance, and that's just going to make the next attack even stronger. And EffOrt's going to... I don't believe he has Speedling yet. Speedling will finish in time to help hold off the attack, so that's good. But no Baneling Nest. And Baneling Nest just starting now.
Transitioning out of roaches now. I'm not going to make any more of those. Getting 1/1 melee upgrades for the Lynx. And yeah, so Happy locking himself up tight. EffOrt moving across the map with some roaches again, but there are Marauders in place. They're just about to have Stim and Medevacs around as well. They definitely shouldn't pick that fight.
And he immediately loads up into the medevacs. He's going to run out and start dropping. Overlord's absolutely everywhere for EffOrt. That's actually very impressive Overlord spread for this early in the game. So he's going to see everything that's coming. But the problem is his lair is just now starting. He's not going to have anything that can actually shoot down those medevacs for quite some time. So depending on Happy's control, he's pretty much invincible. He can just run wherever the roaches are not and drop and kill stuff.
Can EffOrt even hold this drop? He's pulling the roaches back. Does he have enough units in third? It actually looks like he maybe have enough now. Lings run by into the natural, try and get some damage done. They just sort of run around and be annoying. No damage done by these Lings, really. And this drop of Happy has unloaded outside the third and stimming in.
Actually immediately backs out. I feel like he could have fought that. He could have killed some stuff and then just lifted and ran away.
Yeah, there's not actually that much from EffOrt. I mean, the Baneling's just finished there. He doesn't have centrifugal hooks. The Baneling Nest only just finished. In fact, he doesn't even have a lair yet, so definitely can't have it. The lair's just about to finish for EffOrt, making 12 more Lings. Getting some spores as well. I liked getting the spores. Static defense. Drops are going to become a thing now.
Yeah, the spores are a pretty necessary choice here from EffOrt, just knowing that he's not going to have anything to really deny the medevacs, short of static defense for quite some time. Not sure, does he have the Spire? He does have the Spire coming up, the Baneling speed upgrading as well. He hasn't started +2 Carapace yet, but he is just now on 1/1. Lots of units coming out, but actually kind of sloppy here, losing some Zerglings. Yep. He has to be very, very careful with all his units, because with those medevacs, Happy can really attack everywhere.
And a supply block as well.
That's pretty bad. He is going to hold this off, but the drop in the main, as long as he's careful about those Banelings, he can do a lot here.
Absolutely, man. 2 Marauders and a bunch of Marines in this medevac. Some Banelings in position, the Zerglings in position as well. And the Spore Crawler actually doing some damage, so he actually gets deflected really nicely there for EffOrt. But yeah, Happy doing a little bit of damage to the army of EffOrt. Not really critical damage by any means, but is making it pretty difficult for EffOrt to get the comfortable spot that he wants here.
He is, but I don't know. EffOrt, really impressive job of holding this off thus far, especially given the fact that he doesn't have any anti-air. He's pretty much full economy for all 3 bases. He's taken no significant damage. He's got his upgrades running. But Happy also just setting up nice and comfortable at home. He's got his own double upgrades going. His 3rd command center is very late.
Oh, yeah.
For just kind of the current state of TBZ. And another interesting thing, his main is actually already nearly half mined out. Oh, another drop, but he is picked up and run away. Happy's been very good about that. He hasn't wasted any units either.
Yeah, he's actually had really good reaction time, so good minimap awareness from Happy. Looks like a lot of the stim units here are going to move out to the side, just trying to find another avenue of attack, I suppose. This dropship keeps loading and unloading. Oh, sniping a Baneling there.
Sniping 2 of them, actually.
Yeah, so very nice. So
Happy doing his best to make this worthwhile, even though he hasn't really been able to find any holes. He hasn't messed up anything. To be fair, that anywhere you go on the map is going to be right past an Overlord. EffOrt, really good Overlord spread.
And where he doesn't have Overlords, he has Lings on the towers.
Another drop in the main, but this one's actually going to cost him because those mutas are out, so he can't hunt down those medevacs.
That's right. So now there's meter o'clock. The drops are going to become a little bit more dangerous for Happy. He's got to pull all the way back to the natural. And like we mentioned, that 3rd is so late. So late. He's got siege tanks. He's locked up in the natural. But that econ, though, EffOrt's taking his 4th hatchery. Happy's still on 2 base.
And Happy's going tanks. And tanks, they got buffed in the last patch, but they're still just not very good units, in my opinion, with the biocomposition against Mutiling Baneling.
Wintermine's still very, much more effective.
Yeah, pretty much any Terran. I'm not really sure why he did this, honestly. Pretty much any Terran will agree. You want Widowmines more than tanks with your bio. He may be able to take out this 4th base, but I'm really worried that what's going to happen is he takes out that 4th base, and in the meantime, EffOrt builds up a massive amount of Mutiling Baneling, and then just eliminates that army once he gets 2-2.
He's actually counterattacking.
That also is kind of scary.
He
lowered it instead of lifted.
A misclick there.
The wrong,
Lost that 4th hatchery, but he does get in. He picks up a tank as well.
Picks off a tank and a couple of SCVs. And his army could actually get out. If he just runs straight back home, he's pretty okay. But if he sticks around here, I really feel like he's going to lose that to Mutiling Bane.
He's gonna chill by that watchtower here, getting a bit of vision in the map. EffOrt just preparing for this Happy assault.
Happy's playing with fire here. Unless he gets like the best tank shots ever on the Banelings, this is going to be messy.
Needs to channel his Wings of Liberty skill here. And so just pulling back, being very careful. Looks like he wants to set up a siege position. Oh, Muta's catching the siege tanks unprotected. Does get 1 medevac, I think. And then, so I feel like Happy here, his plan is to get up by that 4th hatchery that's being built and start sieging on it, get that position up against the wall, making it a little bit difficult for EffOrt to engage with these Lings.
Yeah, Happy hasn't reinforced his army in quite some time, and I don't know, EffOrt really isn't macroing too well, honestly. He's got over 1,000 minerals built up. No supply block, no nothing. He could easily spend it. I'm not sure why he's not. But either way, no reinforcements for Happy for quite some time. He's just getting outmassed here. But I don't know, EffOrt seems really hesitant about engaging.
Just now getting +1 attack for his mutas as well. He's got enough money for upgrades, absolutely. Moving back here, wants to catch some of this, stim there from Happy. Taking out one of the mutas, just edging back. And looks like EffOrt going to go for a 2-pronged attack here, actually.
And no. Happy's just going to get absolutely wiped off the map as soon as this army goes. This is literally the same army he had 5 minutes ago. And you just can't do that. He just gets obliterated.
And obliterated it shall be. EffOrt punishing Happy for that attack. Gonna maybe, yes, he will get these medevacs in the retreat as well.
Yes, he will. The 3rd base finally coming up for Happy. His main is already essentially mined out.
Very naked 3rd base.
Very much so. He does have a decent amount of units within striking distance.
Yeah,
so
he's moving them over.
I don't feel like he's gonna... Well, he's gonna take some damage from the Lings here, but not really too much. Muta swinging in the main, but decent turret coverage. So Happy is pretty stabilized at this point. I'm worried he's never going to be able to get enough. Actually, Muta's going in, taking out a turret, going to do some SCV damage.
Yeah, a little bit. Meanwhile, attacking the 3rd with some Banelings and some Zerglings, getting a few more SCVs at the 3rd here. Actually can engage the Marines as well. He's pulled the Roaches.
Actually killing quite a few Marines off there. I'm kind of surprised that was that effective. The Marines are up to 2-2 now, so no more upgrade advantage for EffOrt.
And just 0-2 for the ground units of EffOrt. Well, the ground melee units of EffOrt are only 0-2.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah,
no, the melee is 2-2.
Is it?
It's his Roaches that are 0-2.
Ah,
okay.
Right.
I was really surprised by that.
Man. I was about to bring that up as a thing, but you know.
That would have been very bad for EffOrt.
Luckily, I'm a bad caster. So there's a lot of mutas here from EffOrt. A big cluster of mutas. Wow, that's actually 22 mutas. Sec. So issue here for Happy. But let's just quickly talk about what the position is here for Happy. So Happy and a little, I got to say, a spot of bother. EffOrt up 40 supply. He's look at the minimap. It's telling the story right now. He's got his entire half of the map completely covered. He's got that spread of overlords. He's got, there's a sensor tower for Happy, and that's his entire scout of, like, his top third of the map. In the meantime, EffOrt is in 2 places at once. We can already see he's got an attack going in the third. He's got a huge cloud of meters, over 20 meters, about to head into the main again. Yeah.
Yep, and he's just getting his 4th base up and running. He has a ton of units in production, really good production in general. He's adding another macro hatch as well. And the big problem here is that it's going to take Happy so long to build up another army that can actually brave the map, actually move past any kind of defensive position. And by the time he's any kind of threat at all, EffOrt can just do whatever he wants. He'll have a hive. He should have a 5th base. Actually, a drop in the main right now. So maybe killing some drones, but even that shouldn't be. Actually, the mutas are in a really uncomfortable position. He's not going to be able to shut that down completely for a while.
Looks like,
well, maybe he will. Never mind.
No micro there from Happy, so they do take bailing connections.
And Zerglings on the 3rd base are continuing to do damage.
They haven't been dealt with yet. That bunker was unloaded for the longest time, and then he took it out. EffOrt is nearly up. He's up 70 supply. He's in such a great spot right now. The army supply 50 in EffOrt's favor. That's huge for a Zerg.
Absolutely, and he's playing really intelligently with it as well. He keeps trading units for SCVs, knowing that he has a big economic advantage, and that there's not a whole lot Happy can really do to scare him anytime soon. So it doesn't matter if he loses units. He's not going to die anyway. He might as well trade them for something else.
And
he could take out... yeah. He could have taken out any of, like, 4 things there, and it would have been really good for him, but he decides to just do a little flyby, scare Happy a bit.
And I'm feeling like he's probably feeling a little bit scared right now, man. That is a lot of banelings being morphed here from EffOrt. He's got 29 already on the map and 19 more on the way. And I'm not going to do maths live on stream. But anyway, a lot of siege tech sieging up here. A nice shot on the cluster of banelings there. He's trying to target it down. Plenty do live, though. Splits from Happy are reasonably decent. He gets into the natural. A lot of the Marines, I don't think there's enough Marines to deal with the mutas anymore. The mines are getting burrowed, but they're going to die. And he's just pushing through. Happy is locked back into his natural. EffOrt is right in his face. What can Happy do? This looks like it might be it here. He's going for a drop in the main, but that doesn't even matter. His entire base is on fire.
Yeah, more than double his supply now. More economy, more units streaming across the map. Absolutely no way Happy can clear this up. Nice little Marine drop in the main, but considering what's happening in his own main, that's not really going to be enough there.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time till EffOrt cleans this up, and it's looking like he's actually cleaning up the rest of Happy's units as well for him back on his half of the map. The units killed here, really in Happy's favor, but such is the magic of Zerg. GG, EffOrt taking a convincing game number 1 there after a little bit of a shaky start.
Yeah, that was pretty scary early on. Happy had a pretty good build order situation, and he scouted those roaches, dealt with them really well, but he didn't make enough happen with his drops. EffOrt was completely on top of that, despite the fact that he just had to kind of run around and deal with it, just allow Happy to have free reign over his bases. He just never let him do any damage. And then the 3rd base of Happy was so very late. And he still moved out with a pretty good army. He still did pretty decent damage with it, but then he stayed out, and that was really the turning point in that game. The fact that he stayed on the map with the same army for a good 5+ minutes, just begging EffOrt to kill the entire thing. And tanks are hard to replace. They're not like Widow Mines where you can just rally things across the map and eventually you're going to break even. Tanks need to be kept alive, and he really just didn't do that.
Yeah. So we're feeling like maybe Widow Mines was a better choice there from Happy.
Widow Mines are, with bio, like 99% of the time a better choice. Mutas are just, the new mutas are just so good against tanks in Heart of the Swarm. They're so fast, so easy to pick them off. And you can run in, pick them off, take some damage, and you immediately regen it. You just really need those Widow Mines. They're better in pretty much every way.
That's right. Unless the muta is dead, you haven't done damage to them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good change for this expansion pack. All right, countdown has begun. Yonsu is the next map here.
Wow.
Pretty happy. Well, I guess Happy's going to be happy here. It's a very good TVZ map. So we, even though EffOrt is of this caliber, we could definitely be seeing a tied series here.
Certainly could. I'm very surprised this was not one of EffOrt's vetoes.
Yeah, very surprised. Anyway, let's introduce the players in the top right here from Team Empire. This is Happy. And in the bottom left from CJ Entis, this is EffOrt. Feeling pretty good after that first game, I'm sure.
He certainly is. I know he banned out Echelon, so maybe he just really wanted to get rid of the half-map kind of maps. He was just that afraid of mech. But even on here, mech seems like a perfectly viable option because you expand down to any of the bases, and you're securing a base while putting yourself in the face of the Zerg, and that is what Mech really wants to do.
Yeah, they all have that
know.
high ground sort of, which is really, really good for tanks and Thors.
Yeah, this seems completely fine for Mech for me. I'm not really sure why EffOrt wants to play this map, or maybe he just feared other things more. That's the only thing I can think of.
Or maybe he has no fear.
That could be as well. After that last game, it's kind of understandable. He just didn't even ban a map and play him on anything.
Exactly. That's balls of steals for this Casper Zerg. Yeah, so he's looking. So on this map, what are you expecting from Happy here? What are your predictions? Let's drop a prediction.
He has to go Mech. He just can't play Bio with EffOrt. EffOrt is just too good at executing Mutiling Bane, and yeah, he just outmatches him. And that Happy really needs to play for a slower, more decision-making, thought-based game, not an execution-based game, because EffOrt is faster than him. He does have better control than him. But if Happy goes Mech, if EffOrt's not very... and we're actually seeing pool first again. That's really weird.
And he's scouting for proxies as well at the top of the main.
Yeah, Happy's not much of a cheeser. There's no way EffOrt knows this, because, you know, Happy not a prolific international tournament player. He mostly just plays in WCS EU. So EffOrt's probably not going to know this very well, but I mean, Happy is only going to do the very generic, very standard, very normal style, especially opening-wise.
Yeah.
He was famous for literally doing the exact same thing every single game on ladder for like the first year of StarCraft. But of course, EffOrt, no way that he knows that. He may just think that he's a way better player. He wants to play very, very safe early on and make sure nothing goes to chance. But yeah, 6 Lings coming out, but that's not going to do anything at all here.
If you're comfortable in your ability, you're actually not going to feel too bad about giving a sort of an econ lead to the other player. You're like, I can catch up at any point in time because I'm stronger. So he's getting that Overlord here for a little bit of a perv on that sort of just that little wall there. Does see the Reaper come out. Confirmed Reaper sending across the map, very, 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 very standard in TVZ. And yeah, so setting up I like the Overlord setup here. He knows that the Overlord's not going to be taken out for a while. There's no anti-air here. Oh, nearly getting a wrap around that Reaper.
That's a Reaper. That doesn't get surrounded by slow Lings. The game, it actually just doesn't allow it to happen.
Yeah, the game will crash. There'll be blue screen and white text.
He's actually putting a CC down on the low ground despite seeing those Zerglings. He does have a second Reaper coming out, so with good control, that won't really matter. It's kind of gonna matter whether or not he can get around that Reaper and cancel the SCV, because that's really what he should be going for here.
Yeah, there he goes. Starts to target the SCV. Micro from Happy, not too bad so far. Looking like the SCV is going to... Oh, actually, he's going to get it targeted down with 1 Ling left. This Reaper's got 1 more Ling, 1 more job to do. Oh my god, the Reaper gets taken out. He's going to lose the SCV as well. Oh no.
That's actually pretty... oh, he brings the other Reaper back. So that's actually could have been kind of bad for Happy, but if the second Reaper hadn't been coming back, that could have denied the command center for quite some time.
Yeah.
But the second Reaper does clean it up. Of course, that means that the other Reaper is not in EffOrt's face, so he's free to just sit back and make drones at home. And he actually has a pretty quick speedling coming out, so transitioning into a relatively normal game from a very strange opening. Yeah. Second gas coming from Happy, so it is Mech. There goes the second factory.
Okay, but this game, conversely to the other one, he's not dropping a super early Roach Warren like he did in the last time with his build opening. You know, maybe this might actually be okay. We'll see how EffOrt responds here. It's going to be a matter of time. We'll have to wait and see. 8 more Lings on the way for EffOrt.
He's actually just going to lose that Overlord. That's really sloppy of him.
Yeah.
And he's definitely not going to start the second factory. 2 Marines out, and the second factory is really well hidden. There's pretty much no way EffOrt actually sees that. So if these Hellions are a surprise, that can be pretty much game ending.
Yeah, well, he's only going to have Lings. And the Overlord going down as well. Really heavy supply block for EffOrt, and no Overlords on the way. Now just starting 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a little bit uncharacteristic of EffOrt there, or very uncharacteristic.
A tech lag coming up. So this could be for Blue Hellions. Happy really loves Blue Hellion builds. But we've also seen him play very defensively early on, and a Roach Warren's coming up, so that could actually prompt the tanks and Widow Mines we saw on the second game against King Kong. Happy, a very, very careful player. He's not going to take any risks. He's not going to leave any openings that he could be cheesed. So just really going to depend if he scouts that Roach Warren or not. And Happy always scans everything, so there's a pretty good chance that he's going to actually see that and respond to it. But the Blue Flame Hellion is coming out. The upgrade is coming. Yeah,
he's done this before. I think he did it against King Kong and on the game on Frost. But, you know, unfortunately for Happy, as Todd mentioned, he likes to scan the main all the time. The Roach Warren is actually in the natural. But you know what? These Hellions might be able to scout the natural as they start to edge towards it. Having a look at that third, just firing, not seeing any drones there because it's not done yet. And Ooh,
Queen kind of exposed.
Yeah, a
Take
little
a
bit
little
there.
bit of damage.
Little bit.
Wisely opting to just go for the creep tumors instead, knowing he's not going to really chase that queen down.
Yeah, good decisions from Happy so far. This one queen looking like she's getting a little bit fresh with those Hellions. Oh, he's actually going to lose that queen.
Yeah, he is. That kind of sloppy from EffOrt there. Oh, we have a Baneling nest and a lot of links coming down. Looks like he's going for a Roach Baneling attack.
Yeah, it definitely does. Blue Flame still 3/4 of the way done, not just done yet for Happy. He's still denying a lot of creep tumors. He's killed quite a few, really, killing all the active ones of EffOrt so far. I think he only has 1 or 2 left.
Yeah. EffOrt's pretty okay with that in the situation, just because it means the Hellions aren't getting aggressive enough to actually see what's going on. And so this is a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
We have one bunker with 1 Marine in it, and the rest of everything is Hellions.
Yeah, Blue Flame
That's
Hellion
a lot of
not
Hellions,
going to
so.
help too much against Roaches. Well, I mean, yeah, there is a lot of Hellions. There's a critical mass of Hellions, but they just kill everything anyway. The Banelings will help a lot, though. So, yeah.
And he's actually counterattacking with the Hellions. I thought he was going to swing around and kill the Banelings off, which would have been really smart. A counterattack here, I don't know, because we got the building wall coming out from EffOrt. If he completes it with the Queen, but he's not.
Oh, and the Hellion
Well,
slipped through.
That's all of the dead drones.
Yeah, and there's not going to be too much holding of those Blue Flame Hellions in the meantime. Will Happy be able to hold here? Oh, God, this is just making me feel like pain in places that I didn't know exist. Seeing all
Happy actually has a tank in the back behind his mirror line with a second tank coming.
Oh, he might be okay.
That gives him some potential to hold this off, and EffOrt has 0 drones, essentially, at this point.
Oh, my God. Every single drone getting destroyed by those Hellions.
But every SCV dying as well.
Yeah. So we're at a kind of weird spot where no one has workers. Well, I mean, actually, he still has some. He's pulled them down into the natural, but there is a lot of units sort of doing damage there, and as they retreat, they're getting killed, so... Oh, my God.
And EffOrt is going to just trickle Roaches out, and Roaches are efficient enough against the Hellions that EffOrt is going to manage to take this in a very funny game. But still a few drones alive. That third base is kind of mining. The biggest thing is Roaches are just... They're just going to win the fights here.
What a game for our last game of the day. This is
And everyone thought this was going to be like a horrendous long turtleneck series, and then we get these 2 games.
You tweeted about it, man. It's going to be a 3-hour series.
I thought it would be.
Made a ladder out of you. So the Roach is coming in here, and the Hellion's dwindling. He's down to 2. 3 workers to 1, and EffOrt just made a round of drones there. His hatcheries are obviously still alive. Meanwhile, Happy's infrastructure is floating in the sky.
Happy's going full ladder Terran here.
Oh, ladder Terran, yep. Just floating everything over into the area that has rocks, but he's just going to GG. EffOrt taking the series 2-0.
And those look like relatively effortless games for him.
Which is weird because of his name.
Yeah. But Happy, not very happy, so both going against their names, in fact.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame there. But
That's too bad. After that series, that has to be so painful, because he invested so much in the King Kong games. 2-hour-long games, and then the bio one.
Yeah.
And then he just loses in pretty depressing fashion.
possibly tired, but I mean, you know, I would have thought that maybe the fact that he likes to tend to go towards that mech composition, at least based on what we've seen, he's probably a very patient player that's used to playing long games like that. So if anyone was going to get tired, it would have been King Kong.
That is how he plays, and like anyone who's watched him ladder or who just sees him play other series, I really feel like he would have been able to play out another mech series against EffOrt. I don't think it was fatigue on his part, unless maybe he had bad travel, he's jet lagged, he could just be tired. But I don't know, maybe he just wasn't confident in playing mech against a player of EffOrt's caliber.
Yeah, quite possibly. All right, well, we're not going to have an interview on stage here, so looking like we're probably going to be wrapping things up for the second day of Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. We're going to just maybe talk about the players that have come through here. So the 4 players that have come through, we've got obviously EffOrt coming through, as we just saw there, along with we've got San, we've got
DRG, and then also, who was the other one? Oh, MVP. Of course, we can't forget MVP.
We casted that.
Yeah, we
Come
did.
on.
We casted both of those.
That's right.
So that's
out of those 4 players, you actually said earlier in the day that you feel EffOrt is going to take the entire tournament.
I hope he does. I really like him. I think he's capable of it. I don't know if I'd say he's a flat-out favorite for the tournament. There's just too many good players to really call a single favorite.
And there's a bit of a sloppiness in those games as well. So there's,
there was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're going to cross over to Red Eye on the stage now. He is prepared. So guys, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, check it out with Red Eye.
Thanks very much, Maynard and Idra there. Thanks to those guys, and also to Kalaris and Todd for their commentary, their stellar commentary on a very long day here in Singapore. We are just about ready to wrap things up today, but before we do that, let's just confirm our players that have made it through to the quarterfinals, which will take place on Sunday. This is how Group B ends up, as we've confirmed, with Dongray Gu going through and EffOrt making it through with a 2-0 win over Happy to follow up with that as well. Earlier on, of course, we saw San and DRG also going through. So 4 big names all making their way through into the quarterfinals, and 4 names that perhaps we haven't seen for a little while. 2010 and 2011 were undoubtedly their best years. It's almost like we've stepped back in time in some kind of time machine designed for StarCraft 2 players. Tomorrow, we'll also see some old hands in action as well as Grubby returns once more. He'll be coming back to try and defend his second place or even go one better in Group D, but he has 3 very, very tough Koreans to get past. Hydra, Hack and Squirtle will go head-to-head with him in Group D. His first match against Hack. In Group C, it's Hero from CJ Entus, not the liquid variety. We also have Dream, who came through the open bracket yesterday, and then yet again, Scarlet and Bomber. They've already provided 2 matches this year which are massively memorable. One from WCS Season 2 and one from the Red Bull Battlegrounds just a couple of weeks ago. Could it be 3 times in a row? We certainly hope so. Make sure you join us for tomorrow. More League of Legends actions and more from StarCraft 2.